This is what it looks like. Now I'm going to show you how I turn an image into a cut file. This is so cool. In the past, we would trace around an image and then scan it into the a cutting machine and then cut it out. I'm going to show you a cool way that I found out. So let's see. Okay, so we're in Studio. I'm going to go to File, Open. And I had downloaded an image from the internet or Pinterest. Okay, so I'm going to go and put up my image. It's a bird. Let's start with a simple image. And this one's called, let's see. It's on my desktop. And it's called where the heck did it go? It's called Test Bird. Okay. Every time I make a video, something comes up. I can't find something. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go. So this is Studio, okay? And I'm going to go and I'm going to bring up an image. And this is just an image I downloaded from the internet or Pinterest. And so I'm going to File. I'm going to Open. And I'm going to go down to, let's see, Desktop. And then we'll go to Studio. And at the bottom, it's called, I call it Test Bird. Okay? And I'm going to open that. And let's delete all of this. We don't want that. Okay? Let's delete all that. Okay, so here is our image right here. Okay? In fact, let's just save this and start over because I want you to see the beginning. Okay? So let's close it out. Okay, so let's go here. We'll get this straight. File, Open, Desktop, and I go to Select Studio, which is what I name my files, and then here I call it Test Bird. And this is just an image downloaded from Pinterest. So go to OK, and this is what the image looks like. Okay, it's just see, it's like a piece of paper with a bird on it. It's just like, you know, holding a sheet of paper in your hand with the image. Okay, so you see, this is a PDF. Okay, so I'll put that on my mat, and then I'm gonna go over to make sure my mic is on. I'm gonna go over to, here's my image. Now, this is so cool. I'm gonna go over here to this little butterfly, and I'm gonna select Trace. Can you see that? Let's see. Select Trace, okay, right here. And then I'm gonna trace the bird, just like this. I'm gonna highlight the bird, the whole bird, okay? And you see how the outline turns yellow. So I'm gonna go over here, and I am going to go over here to Threshold, and I'm gonna make that yellow a little yellow, more yellow, darker, okay? And you want all these lines to be yellow, okay? All to be yellow. And if it's like this, it's not yellow enough. So you want to go all the way over until you get the entire line yellow. Okay, and that looks good. And we'll come back and fix the eyeball later. So our image is yellow, okay? So we're going to go over here to Trace. Okay, go over to Trace, and we're going to click on Trace. Okay, see what happens? Now, there's a red line going around the bird now. And everywhere there's a red line, that's what the cutting machine is going to cut. It's going to cut this bird out. It's going to cut on this line here, okay? You probably can't tell on camera, but this line, this black what the bird has black lines, but now there's a red line going around there. And the red line is what the cutting machine will cut. So now we're gonna now that I trace my image, I'm gonna move the PDF, okay, to over here. Just move it to the side. Okay, so here's our original image right here, okay? Now here is what we just traced. See, we traced that entire bird. Now you notice there's a double line because what the Silhouette Studio does, it traced the outside line, and the inside line of the bird. And I want the outside because I want the bird to be the exact size. But go over here. Now, see, it's all stuck together, right? Just like the PDF. So then I go over here, I highlight it, right-click, and I release compound path. That's going to separate the parts of the bird. So release compound path, and you notice now there's a box around each part of the bird. And if I click off the bird and then click back on the bird, you see all the individual pieces. Now I want the outside. So let's see if I can get the outside. So bring it in closer. So I'm going to carefully grab the outside line. And look at that. Look how cool is that? That's the bird feather. And I'm going to put it off to the side right here. If you can see that. Okay, let's get this out the way. So here's the part of here's the feather of the bird. See how it traced that out? Okay, and then we're going to take the outside of the bird. Look at that. Look at that. See how it separates the parts of the bird? Okay, so we got the feather, we got the bird. I'll just move it over here. And it's a big bird. It's really big. And now we want to get the eyeball, or the outside of the eyeball. Look at that. See the circle? Can you see that? Yep. There's the eyeball. Make this a little smaller so you can see the screen. Okay. So we got all of this already cut out. Okay. And now we want the beak. Let's grab the beak. No, we don't want that part. This is the actual outline of the bird. But this we don't want. Okay, so let's just delete that. That's the whole outline around the bird. We want the parts of the bird. And we don't need this because we got that. It gives you two parts. So we don't need that. Now, here is the beak. Right here. There's the beak. Here is the foot. Okay. And here's the other foot. And here's a tiny little pupil that goes inside the eyeball. See that? We got this. And then now our mat's empty. So here's our PDF. Now, that is so cool. See how it cut all these pieces out. We got the 2 feet, the eye, the pupil, the beak, the feather, and the body. Now, what is so cool about this is we don't know where to put this at. We don't know exactly where this is going to go on the bird. So what you can do is, here's the PDF. Okay, so what you can do is you can take the body and put it back on top of the PDF to put the bird back together. Instead of just guessing where his feathers should go and where his beak should go, watch this. We're going to take the body, lay it on top of the PDF. It drops right back into place. See that? Take the feather, bring it over, drop it on top of the feather. Get the beak, bring it over, and drop it back in place. Take his left feet right here, drop it back into place. Look at that. And then take his other feet, his right feet, put that back into place. Take his eyeball, the black part, and put that back into place. And then we get that tiny little white pupil and put that into place. Now look at that. It's all put back together. Now, this way we know where all the parts of the bird will go because we put it back together using the original PDF copy. And so we don't have to guess where to put the wing, where to put the feet, or the eyeball, or the beak. Now, I'm going to move the PDF. And then when I move the PDF, you're just going to see the parts of the bird. Okay, so I'm going to go up here in the white space. And go up here in the white space. Let's pause. Okay, we're going to go back up here. And then we're going to remove the PDF. Just going to grab on the white page and remove it. Look at that. So we remove the PDF. And here is our bird. Let's make it bigger. Look, here's our bird all put together. And take the PDF, put it right over the piece, over the bird. It's all back in, his parts are all back just like the PDF. Move the PDF, grab it by the white page, move it over, put it there, off to the side. And here is your bird right here. Okay? Here's your bird. Here's all your parts. And say I moved this feather. Now I'm not sure where to put it. So what I can do is move it to the side, put the PDF back over the bird. Okay? See how it goes back over the lines? Then grab this feather and put it back in place by using the PDF. And then move the PDF out the way. These are all my cut pieces. Now what I like to do is also I like to group all the pieces together to have as like a copy. So I will highlight all the parts, right click, and I'm going to group it together. Okay, then click off. Now when I grab it, it's all put together. Okay, now I'm going to set this one. Now I'm going to make a copy. So I'm going to click on the bird and make a duplicate because I want to have an extra copy in case I mess it up. And I'm going to take that copy and I'm going to set it off to the side. Okay. So now we got the PDF. Okay. Got the PDF. So I keep my PDF over here, my original image. And then here's my backup extra copy that I made. And I grouped it together. I'm going to put that over to the right. This is just how I lay my, this is just how I lay it out on my, well, this is called a table. And then this is the mat. This is where everything on the mat is what's going to get cut. Now here I got it all grouped back together, but what I'm going to do is ungroup it so that I can cut it out. So click on it, highlight it, and ungroup. Now it's all ungrouped. So now I can take it apart. Here's his right leg. Here's his left leg. There's the beak. There's the eye. There's the eyeball or pupil. And then here's the feather. And then here's the body. Okay? And I'm going to put the small pieces down here. Bring them down. And this bird is really big. This bird takes up the whole mat. And then here's the feather. So all the parts are on the mat. These are all our pieces. Now let's say I forget and I don't know if this is the left leg or the right leg. So what I can do is I can take this leg and I can go put it over here on top of the PDF and line it back up. And then I can move my PDF and take that leg and bring it back over here. Because my parts are not labeled. And so if I get these two legs, you know, twisted and don't know which is which, I can just go lay it back on my PDF and figure out the left and the right. That is so cool. See how it cut all your shapes out for you? Now, if I go here to send, which is what you click on to send it to the cutting machine, which is the Cameo cutting machine. I have the Cameo 5. So you go up to send, and everything on the mat is what will get cut. Now, let's see. It's connecting to the cameo, but I don't really want to cut it right now. But let's go right here. See, now it's red. Everything, let's move this out onto the mat. Okay. Everything red is going to get cut at the cutting machine. Wherever there's red, it will cut at the cutting machine. It's going to cut out the body, the feather, his left foot, right foot, his eyeball, little pupil, and his beak. This will all get cut out at the cutting machine. And you see over here it says low media. Well, I don't have a mat on my, I don't have anything loaded on the cutter right now. But that's what this would be. Now, here it says vinyl. Now, I want to use fabric. See, I want to make an applique, and I want to cut this on fabric. I will go over here and change this from vinyl and change this to fabric. Let's see. Cotton fabric. No. Fabric, cotton print. Here we go. So it will cut it out on fabric, not vinyl. You can cut it on vinyl too, but for this demonstration, we're gonna say we're cutting it out on fabric. So here is our fabric, and here is our image. Now I'm not gonna cut it out right now in this video. I just want to show you how Silhouette Studio works and how cool this is. This is really, really cool, and I use Silhouette Studio, and then I use Brother Canvas Workspace, and Brother Canvas does not do this. You cannot do this in Brother Canvas Workspace or Canvas Workspace. You cannot do this. And so if I go down here, send, that'll send to the cutting machine, but we don't want to cut it out right now. So up here, design will take you back to your, I call table. Also in Silhouette Studio, you notice how my image is on the mat, but also you notice I have stuff over here. I call this the table. This is my table. Picture this is your table right here, and this is your cutting mat laying on your table. So this is my table. I can leave this sit here, and I can leave this over here, and I can go up here, and I can save. I'm gonna click save. I can save my project with these images out to the side. They're not on my cutting mat. They're out here. And I can save the file with images, with stuff out here. Okay? Everything on the mat is what's going to cut. Going to send, and it's going to cut out the bird parts in fabric or vinyl, whatever you are cutting out. In this demonstration, I'm cutting fabric. But let's go back to the design table, and we can save, and it saves it. Now, if we go over to Brother Canvas, over here, this is Brother Canvas for the scan and cut machine. I have a scan and cut machine. This is Brother Canvas. If you were to go over here, and let's just open up something. Let's open up the gingerbread. Okay, this is Brother Canvas Workspace for the scan and cut. I have a scan and cut as well. Now, scan and cut is similar to Silhouette Studio. They're both similar programs. They do some of the same things, but Silhouette Studio does a lot more. In Brother Canvas, if you were, here's your mat in Brother Canvas. Okay, if I were to take one of these gingerbread guys and set them off to the side, okay, I got it out to the side here, and let's see if we can save this. Let's see if it'll let us save it with that out, with this image off the mat. So go over here to, let's see, override or save, and see. Okay, so it does let you save the project. The saving this project is complete, so you can save it. Okay, cool. I didn't know you can do that. But you can't. Oh, I know. You can save, but you can't download. So let's say I want to send this to the cutting machine. I want to send this to the scan and cut. I go over to download. And here you go. This is what I meant. So you can save your project in Canvas Workspace if you have an image of the mat. But when you go to download your file to send it to the cutting machine, because in order to send it to the scan and cut, you have to download it first. But when you go to download, it says this project cannot be downloaded. Some shapes extend beyond the cutting mat. Okay, so I'm going to close that. It's saying you can't have this out here. You can't have this out here and then try and download. It won't let you download. It gives you an error because of this out here. You can't have anything out here. You go to download, you get an error, okay? But if you put it back on the mat, everything's on the mat, you can download. See? And then you send to your scan and cut, or you can send it to the computer. And I'm going to send it to scan and cut. Even though it's not on, I'm not going to cut anything. I'm just showing you what you do. So that's how you send your image to the scan and cut. But you can't do that if you have something out here, which I call my table. This is my table, and this is my mat on top of my table. And when I put an image out here, it won't let me download to. I can't send anything to the scan and cut machine. Okay? You have to have it on the mat. But when you go back into Silhouette Studio, see how I have this out here? And I have this out here outside the mat, and then I have my parts on the mat. I can still go over here to send, which is the same as download. In Canvas Workspace, it's called download. But in Silhouette Studio, it's called send. And basically, when you download in Canvas Workspace, you're sending it to the scan and cut or your computer. But in Silhouette Studio, they call it send, where means you send it to your cutting machine, which is a Cameo. So if I click on send, I can send it. It doesn't give me an error. So that's what's cool about Silhouette Studios. You can have stuff off to the side here, and it will not cut none of that. It'll just cut what's on the mat, what's in red. Red lines mean those are the cut lines. But you can't do that in Canvas Workspace. So I like that feature. But the cool feature is that you can trace your image, you know, without having to trace this on pen and paper, or, you know, the old-fashioned way, you know, pencil and paper. You know, you can, and then you can also, let's say you want to reverse you want this to be reversed. Let's go over here to the PDF. You can, if you want to reverse this, go up to Object, go up to Mirror, and then you can flip it. And see, you can reverse it. And you can also reverse your part. Click on this, or right-click and do Flip Horizontal. And see, I flipped it. We flipped it, and it still fits. Look at that. Still fits. Let's put that back over here. Let's put that back here. I like to keep my PDF on the left. And let's go back and turn it back the other way. Okay, back the other way. So cool. You can do the same thing with your mat. You can take everything on your mat, right click, and you can flip it horizontal. But let's turn it back. Okay. So that's pretty cool how you can use Silhouette Studio. That is a really cool feature. And then if you want to, you can also color in your image. So let's make his body. Let's go up here, left corner here. Up here in the corner, you first have to click on your image. Click on the part of the body you want. Go over here to color, and you can color your image. So let's say we want to make the bird in red fabric, and we want to make his feather. We got to highlight his feather. Go back over here to the colors, and let's make his feather yellow. And then let's go over to his bead and highlight the bead. Go to color, and let's make his bead orange. Then we're going to go to his both of his feet. We can click on his feet, and then shift and click on the other foot, or you can just highlight both of them. Highlight both of his feet, go over to the color, And you can make his feet black. Pretty cool. And let's actually make this red. Instead of red, let's make it another color because the cut lines are red. And I want you to be able to see the cut lines. Let's make him blue. Okay? And then let's make his eyeball. Let's make that green. And let's make the little pupil that goes inside his eye. Let's make that purple. Okay. All right. See how we colored him? Now, what you can do is you can go over to, okay, so we have all our parts on our mat. We've decided we want his body to be blue fabric, feather to be yellow fabric, his feet to be black fabric, his beak to be orange fabric, his eyeball to be green, and then a little dot in his eye to be purple. So we'll go over to send. And I'm going to show you something really cool. You go up here to cut by fabric. Cut by color. Right here it says cut by field color. Can you see that? See all those colors? It brings in all those colors. Now it says vinyl, but we will be cutting it into fabric. I'm not going to change it. Well, let's see if I can change it. This is just for demonstration. We're not going to actually cut it out, but well, we'll leave it at vinyl because they're all at vinyl. But you can cut this out with vinyl or you can use fabric. I will use fabric. But what I'm trying to show you here is that you can cut by color. So you could cut out the blue. What you do is, well, let's start with green since green is on top. You go up here, you highlight green, and it'll cut out the green. But then you want the cutting machine to stop so you can change your fabric and put down the purple and the black, the blue, the orange, and the yellow. The way you do that is you click on your green. Okay, it's going to cut the green first because that's the first one. Go down here and hit add a pause. Okay, so it will pause. So it will cut out your green. You lay down your green fabric on your cutting mat. You run it through the cutting machine. It'll cut out the green part of the body, which in this case is the little circle, the eyeball. Then it will stop because I put a pause in there. Then it will go, it will cut the purple. And then I will add another pause. And then go down the list. You want to put a pause after each color so that so the cutting machine will stop and so you can put down your next fabric. You have to put your fabric down one at a time when you cut by color. Okay, so let's just take that pause out of there. Let's remove that. And then if you don't want the pause, just highlight it and then remove it. Now the pauses are gone. Okay. Now let's go back to our table. I call this a table. Now let's say you got your piece, but you don't know where to lay. You don't know where to lay your fabric. Okay. Let's move this down. Each of these little squares represent 1 inch. Okay. This is a 12 right here. This is a 12 by 12 cutting mat. 12 across and 12 down. It's a 12 by 12 cutting mat. And so each little inch here each little square is an inch. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 across and 12 down. Now with the scanning cut, the brother scanning cut, you can highlight you can lay down your fabric, and then you can scan your fabric, and then you can move your pieces around to cover your fabric. Well, you can't do that in the Camera Pro, but what you can do is, because this is a 12 by 12 mat, this mat is the exact mat that you will cut with. So what you do is you lay your piece on the mat here, okay, and then you count across. You go, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 across, counting this one, even though his body's not touching the first inch. I'm going to count it anyway because you want to have your fabric a little larger than your piece that you're going to cut. So he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He is 10 across, and he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 down. And so also, if you don't want to count, so your fabric would be 10 across, 8 down. So if you put your fabric 10 across here and 8 inches down, that will cut this piece here out. Okay, that will cut out this piece. Okay, let's move these pieces out the way. So we want to cut out his body. We'll count across, which brings us to 10, and then we'll go down, which brings us to 8. You can also highlight him, or highlight your image, and you can see it's 10 here from the beginning all the way across. It's 10, and going down it's 8. So you will cut out a 10 by 8 inch rectangle piece of fabric or vinyl, lay that down, and then cut out this image. Also, you have these crosshairs where you can go over here under, let's see, under view, click on show crosshairs, and see this ruler, see that line that's moving? That's your crosshair. That's another way to figure out how much fabric you need. You go up here at this top corner here, okay, and you go across, and you got a ruler up here. Up here is a ruler, okay? So this crosshair goes from the beginning all the way across, and that's about 10, okay? You might want to go 11 just to have a little extra fabric. So that's 11 across, and then going down, you want to stop it right here. And again, you got these rulers on the side here. See these rulers? That takes you at about 8. So I would cut my fabric 11 across and 8 down, and that will cut out this shape. These crosshairs are really helpful. Okay? Now I'm going to turn them off because I don't want to see them anymore. It gets annoying when you're trying to do something else. Okay, but that's your crosshairs that you can use if you don't want to count. Otherwise, if your piece is down here, you lay your fabric down here. If your piece is over here, you lay your fabric over here. And so that's how you know where to lay your fabric, because this mat is exactly the size mat you will have in your cutting machine. Let me grab a mat and I will show you. Okay, well, I don't have a mat nearby. Well, I don't have a 12 by 12 nearby, but this is what the mat looks like. This is 8 by 12. This will be too small, but I can't find my 12 by 12. But anyhow, this is basically what the mat looks like. It matches the exact mat on the screen. You know, 12 by 12. Each little square is an inch. Just like on the up here, each one is an inch. Each little square is an inch. Okay? What else? I think that's all for this video. I just want to show you guys how you can use Silhouette Studio to cut out your applique shapes, but also how you can take a PDF and you can cut out your shapes without having to, use. You don't have to trace over the design. You can just cut it out. This here's a PDF, like a sheet of paper. Okay, it's just an image I got from Pinterest or Google, and you can do this with any image. Any image you can do this in Silhouette Studio. Now, I do have the business edition. I don't know if the other editions do this, but I have the business edition, which is the highest you can have. And I paid like $150, I think. And you only pay one time and you have it for life. And any updates that come out, you get those for free. Like if you go over under help and you click on, it should be called updates. Let's see. Oops. Oh, didn't want that. Let's go back over here. But updates are free. Oh, right here. Apply upgrade edition. Nope, that's not it. Well, I don't know where it is right now, but updates are free. So, yeah. It's on here somewhere. But anyhow, let's see. What else do I want to tell you guys? So, yeah. So these are, I mean, this is such a cool trick. And I'm going to delete this. Let's delete those. And then here is our and I always keep an image that's grouped together, just in case you make mistakes. Also, along the way, you want to always save your work in case you mess up and don't know how to fix it. Save your work as you are working on this, and so that way, if you have to start over, you don't have to start over at the beginning. But anyhow, yeah. So here's my shape. Oops, you have to. That is what the image looks like.